Okay, so we will do today college algebra 3. We'll finish it up. We're doing from 23 through 30. And then if we have time, we'll start on algebra 4. Okay, so let me share my screen here and go to my algebra 3. And Latoya, you said you didn't do your sheet, right? You said you don't have it?
No, I forgot it at home.
Okay. Well, anyway, you did some of it, right? You did some of the problems 23 to 30? Yes.
No,
Okay. Well, let's just go through them. Read number 23, Latoya. Read number 23.
it said Tamara had 35 coins in nickels and quarters. She has $4.15. Which expression can be used to find how many of each kind of coins does she share?
Okay. Now, so there are actually two equations you can write, right? One showing the value of the quarters and the nickels to the 415, which is what she has total. And the other one is showing the number of quarters plus nickels, which is given as 35, right? So
Yeah.
as in any word problem, you look at what you're given. You're given here, Tamara has 35 coins and nickels and quarters, right?
Mm,
That's something you need because you need to know her total coins, right? And you need to know how much she has total money. And all she has $4.15. That's here. Now, we know what a quarter is. A quarter is what?
25 cents.
That's right. Quarter. Let's put a quarter because we're talking money here. A quarter equal 25 parts of a dollar, which is in decimal 0.25, correct?
Yeah,
And what about the nickel?
5 cents.
Okay, so a nickel
It's
equal,
EL is nickel.
yeah.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry, everyone.
Hello, Chastity.
I'm in and out of the kitchen.
Okay,
I'm
no
sorry.
problem. I know you're making dinner.
Yes,
That's what you have to do when you got a family. Okay,
yes. Wife
so
duties, mommy's duties.
that's right.
Okay.
It, okay, that's 0.5 hundredths of a dollar, which is 0.5, right? 5 hundredths. Okay, so we know what a quarter is equal to. We know what a nickel is equal to.
Yeah.
And we know that a quarter and a nickel. Now notice they're using, so you can just say let Q
Plus N.
equal quarter. No, we want to define our variables, right? Because
Mm,
we didn't have to use it, but it just makes more sense to use Q for quarter and what? Let N equal nickel. K-E-L, not a V, right? So we define our variables. We wrote what a quarter is equivalent to, 0.25 of a dollar. Nickel is 0.05 of a dollar. That's just putting the amount over 100. So we found they gave this, and you have 35 coins and nickels and quarters. All right, Latoya, how would you write that as as a fraction? I'm sorry, as an equation.
Q plus N.
Okay, Q plus N equal what?
35.
35. Okay, so let's just make that small q to be consistent. Okay, so the number of quarters plus the number of nickels is equal to 35. All right. Now we know that the amount of quarters plus the amount of nickels is equal to $4.15. So how would you convert the number of quarters to an amount, Latoya? What would you do?
Add them.
No.
Point zero five.
How would you convert the quarter to an amount using these variables Q and N?
Hmm.
You know the sum total of the nickels and the quarters is $4.15. How could you write, give me an expression for writing the value of the quarters, say? We'll just take the quarters. What would that be?
Like how much quarter is in $4? Something like that you're looking for.
No, I want you to use what we have here. We have 0.05
Oh,
nickels, 0.25.
0.25Q.
Right. So how would we write this in terms of the value of the quarters in money? What would that be?
0.25Q.
0.25Q. 0.25
0.25Q.
Q. And that's going to be the value of the quarters. That's in money, right? So that's the value of the quarters. And then we would have what?
0.05 nickels.
Okay, 0.05 nickels. And that's N, right? That's equal to the value of the nickels.
Where you writing it, Miss Barbara? I don't see it.
On the other screen, you got to scroll over.
Because I know I heard you writing. That was a great.
Yeah, it's on the other one because after you go down to the footer part of the page, it's just automatically goes to the next page. Nickels. So we know the value of the quarters in money, and we know the value of the nickels in money. And we know that the sum of those is equal to $4.15. So that's going to be what? 0.05 N plus 0.25 Q, and that's going to be the value of all the coins, and that's our $4.15. All right. Now, if we put that all together, we have quarters plus nickels is 35. We have 0.05 nickels plus 0.025 Q is 415. Which of those expressions over there is the equivalent? Let's just put them all together. And I'll just put the Q plus N. Let's get it from here. Q plus N is 35. So I'll put that there. Okay, so we have these two expressions, and they would be what you could use to find how many of each coin you have. So which of those expressions is equivalent to these two equations?
D.
0.05 nickels plus 0.25 quarters equal 415, and Q plus N is 35. That's correct. So answer D. So a nice way of solving word problems would be to know what you're solving for, know what is given in the problem that you need to solve it, and then put those together to give you the answer. In this case, you didn't have to solve for the number of quarters, the number of nickels. You could solve it if you needed to, but you didn't have to. They just wanted to know the expression you used to solve for it. Okay.
Okay.
Now, Latoya, let me ask you this. Now, let's take this a step further. Okay, I have these two equations. How could you use those two equations to find how many quarters and how many nickels?
You divide them.
You
No, you
divide,
multiply them.
multiply them?
Yeah.
No,
The n stands for multiplication.
that's true. So what would you do first?
Um,
You have two unknowns, n and q, and you have two equations. What would you do first?
0.05.
What would you do? Now remember,
No,
you
you gotta multiply.
multiply what?
0.05
Times what?
times 0.25. 0.025.
No. How could, let's just take this equation here. How could you get this equation to have one unknown, either n or q?
Gonna divide.
Oh, if q plus n is 35, right? Then what is q equal to? Latoya, what is q equal to?
You're gonna subtract
Right? Subtract what?
415 from 35 or
No,
35.
I'm talking only this equation right here, Latoya. If q plus n is 35, what is q equal to?
And
Solve this equation for q. What do you get?
n minus 35.
No,
Or 35 minus n.
that's right. Perfect. 35 minus n. Because what you did is subtracted what? N from both sides. Let's just put it here. Okay. You subtracted subtract, subtract n from both sides of the equation. Okay. So that means when you do that, and we just actually do it. Actually. Okay, so q plus n is 35. I'll just copy that and then we'll subtract the n. Okay, I put this here. Now subtract n minus n and subtract n over here. Minus n. And n plus q, I'm sorry, plus n minus n is 0. So you get q is 35 minus n. Now, if q is 35 minus n, that means you can take this equation and put the value of q in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so do that, Latoya. Substitute q equal 35 minus n. Okay, now do that. Put, where you see q, put 35 minus n. So you putting it in, Latoya?
So you're gonna say,
So what would that look like? Tell me what to write.
oops,
So for q, I'm going to put what?
35.
35. What else? What is q equal to?
35q.
No, q equals 35 minus n,
Oh yeah, minus n.
right? So I'm going to put that in. And then what do you do next? PEMDAS.
You gotta do the parentheses first.
That's it. Okay, you have your calculator?
Miss Barbara.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry. I'm missing the college algebra. This one, 3 and number 1, I think.
we're
Can
on
you send it to me?
23. Oh, you,
No, you say it says college algebra number 3.
yes,
I don't
I,
have that one.
I emailed it to you.
No, I don't have it.
Three,
I'm checking.
3 and 4. You didn't get it?
No, I got 4. I don't have 3.
Oh, you don't have 3. Oh, I never sent that to you at all?
No,
Oh, okay. Let me make a note
I
of it.
think I don't have
Send algebra 3 to chastity. Okay, I'll send it to you. I thought I had sent it to you because this we've gone back for a couple of weeks.
and 1. I don't
Oh,
know. I'm missing
you don't
because
have the
yeah,
first algebra we did?
I don't have the first one. Yeah, you sent it
Okay. Yeah, that goes back. So you need,
February 4.
okay. You have 2?
I'm checking
I think
college algebra 2.
1, I
Yeah,
don't think you have number 2?
I had 2.
Okay. But number 1, I don't think I called it number 1. I think I just called it college algebra. Or it may have been called AccuPlacer. But anyway, I'll send you number 2 and number 3.
Wait. All
Okay,
right.
I'll
Thank you so
email
much.
those to you. Okay. Now, so this, when you multiply, what do you get, Latoya? 0.25 times 35.
0.25
Okay. 0.25 times 35.
8.75.
Okay. All right. So this is
That's a
then, so
lot.
because you're going to multiply the 0.25 times 35, that's 1/4 of 35. And then you're going to multiply this by n. So this one you got 8.75, right? 8.75.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you multiply the 0.25 times n, you get what, Latoya?
0.25.
You just get 0.25 n, right?
Mhm.
Side by side multiplication. Okay, take out the parentheses because we multiplied, so we don't need our parentheses. Now, what is your next step, Latoya?
Oops. You gotta subtract both sides.
You know what?
Wait,
You've
you
got
gotta
some,
combine like
yeah,
terms.
you got combined like terms. So what's a 0.05 n and a minus 0.25 n?
Zero, a point zero, a 0.20,
Right, minus uh, 0.20 n.
and
And we've got a plus 8.75, and that's equal to 4.15. Okay, now what do we do next? What do you do next?
minus the 875.
Right, very good. Subtract 8.75 from both sides of the equation. All right, so let's just take this and do our subtraction. Okay. Subtract the 8.75 from both sides. That becomes minus 8.75. And we do that to the, it should just be a decimal. And this is minus 8.75. Okay, so on the left, what do we get? Plus 8.75 and a minus 8.75 give you what?
0.
0. So you'll have left what? Minus
0.20.
0.20 n. And that's okay. Now do the subtraction here. What do you get?
4.6.
Minus or plus?
A minus 4.6.
Minus, that's right, because when you have plus and minus, you subtract, and the sign is that of the bigger absolute value of the number. So that's the 8.75. So you get a minus, what did you get?
4.6.
Okay, 4.60. Okay, now what's your next step?
Divide
Okay, divide what?
0.20
Both
and
sides. Well, the 0.20 because you want just n left, right? Divide both
yeah,
sides of the equation by minus 0.20. Okay, now let's just do that. Let's just copy this and do our division. Okay, so we're going to divide this by minus 0.20 on the line, divide this by minus 0.20. So this becomes, okay, that's minus 0.20. Do the same thing over here, minus 0.20. Let's take out the underline. Okay, and bring this up a bit. Okay, now what do you get on the left side, Latoya?
n.
N, very good. And what do you get on the right side?
A crazy number, so let me do it back over.
It's not a crazy
Every
number.
drive. And the number
4.6.
long. No, it's like 0.043, some long number.
4.6 divided by 0.20. And what do you get?
0.0434.
No, you don't. 460 divided by 0.20.
Yeah,
No, what do you get?
0.6.
What are you doing, Latoya? 4.6 divided by
Oh,
0.2.
it's 23.
That's it. You got 23. And in
Where's
it,
the
that's what?
calculator?
That's number of nickels, right?
Yeah,
So how would you find the number of quarters?
Q. You gotta multiply.
No. How many total was there? Quarters plus nickels was 35. Remember this?
Yeah,
Okay. So if quarters plus nickels is 35, then what is the number of quarters?
you gotta multiply it.
No, this is addition, Latoya.
Oh,
Quarters plus nickels is
oh yeah,
35. Quarters plus 23 is 35. So quarters will be equal to what? 35 minus n, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, subtracting the n from both sides, quarters is 35 minus n. So if your n is 23, this is going to be 35 minus
Minus
23. And what's
23.
that equal to? That's equal to
12.
what? 12. That's right. So the number of quarters is 12. The number of nickels is what? 23.
Country.
So that's how you would solve it. But you're trying to get those two unknowns to one unknown. So like when we went up here, we made our quarters 35 minus n. Now we have only one unknown, and that's the nickels. But once we find the nickels, we can certainly find the number of quarters because we know the total is 35. So whatever the nickels are, subtract from 35, and that gives you the number of quarters. Questions?
No.
Okay. So setup problems are sometimes just setup. And I think Chastity asked me something about this a problem we had a setup. And that's why I want to go take the example to go a step further to actually find the number of each coin, the number of quarters, the number of nickels. But our original question was, which of the setups could we use to find it? Okay, so we came up with our setup. We just took it a step further and say, well, let's just find how many quarters and how many nickels. Questions?
No.
All right, let's go to 24. All
This
right,
is a ratio problem.
okay. So how would you solve it? You're right, ratio proportion. How would you solve it?
3 to 4 equal 120. 3 divided by 4 equal.
Okay, let me put this so we can write it all over here. Okay, so tell me what to write, Latoya. What would you write?
It's 3
Ratio.
over 4.
Okay, she's using ratio proportion. Ratio and proportion. Because the ratio is 3 to 4. That's not the proportion. The proportion is going to show the relationship between the red and green. So you want me to write 3, because 3 to 4, that can be also written as, let's just put it over here, the 3 with the colon 4, that's the same as saying 3 over 4, right? I'm using a slash here, same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say 3 over, and I'll just do it here, over 4. And let me just make that. Okay. And what is that equal to, Latoya?
X over 120.
Okay, so you want to say X. So 3 is ratio of red to green. So that's red to green. And we're looking for red. So that'll be X over the 120. So make sure when you put your ratio of proportion, you keep them in order. Let's see. Okay, so let's put our 120 here. So how would you solve for your X?
So you're going to cross multiply.
Okay, so let's cross multiply. Okay, so what would that give you?
Um,
What, 4x?
4x equal
Yeah, 4
360.
times x is equal to 4x. 3 times 120 is equal to 360.
360.
That's right. And what's your next step?
You're going to divide both sides by 4.
Very good. Divide both sides by 4. Divide both sides of the equation by 4. And what would that give you? X equal
90.
what? Okay, x equal 360 divided by 4 is equal
is
to
90.
90. And what is that answer?
A.
S-W-E-R-A. Okay, now let's be consistent. Be using little x, so we'll stay with little x. So if you put that 90 over 120, let's just go a step further, Latoya. 90 over 20 simplified equal what?
3/4.
How did you get that?
I said, I can slow out and say 3 into 9, 3, and 3 into 12, 4. I
Okay, so
can
you at
say the
least,
zeros.
okay, that's right. You didn't need the zeros. Simplify your life. Take the zeros out. And like you said, you got 9/12. And then you divide both sides of the both top and bottom by 3, and that gives you 3/4, and that's what our ratio was, 3-4. Correct?
Yeah.
Questions?
No.
All right. Chastity, any questions on 24? She may be cooking. Okay, let's go to 25. All right. Latoya, how would you solve 25?
Don't even see it.
Can you see it? 25? John has 30 marbles. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, read number 25.
John has 30 marbles, 18 of which are red and 12 of which are blue. Jane has 20 marbles. All of them are either red or blue. If the ratio of the red marbles to the blue is the same for both John and Jane, then John has many more blue marbles than Jane. How many more blue marbles than Jane?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Now, what are you given in the problem? Given John has 30 marbles,
Mm,
18 red and 12. Let's just underline that. And 12 are blue. Okay. So let's just put that in a compact way. John, and we'll say John equals 30
marbles.
marbles. Okay. And we have what? 18 equal red. Let's put this 18 of the marbles equal red, and
12 are blue.
12 equal blue. Okay, so 12 of the blue color. All right. Now Jane has 20 marbles. So let's just put Jane here. Jane equal 20 marbles. Either red or
Or blue.
blue. All right. Now, if the ratio of the red and the blue are the same, so let's just, we can get John's ratio, right? Because we know how many red and we know how many blue. So if the ratio of the red to the blue is the same for both John and Jane, okay, what I want you to tell me, Latoya, what is the ratio of John's red to blue marbles? What is that?
Three to 6.
Ratio of John's red to blue is what?
I was dividing it.
No, red to blue. 18 red, 12 blue. So what's that's going to be? What would be the ratio of John's red to blue marbles? That would be the number of red to the number of blue. What are those numbers?
18 and 12.
18, and let's put our colon 12. That we can write as 18 over 12. And what does that simplify to?
Let me see.
It's your least common multiple for 18 and 12. The number you can divide into 18 and 12.
6.
Okay, 6 into 18 is 3 times. And 6 into 12 is what, 2 times?
Yeah, I said 3 half, remember?
Yeah,
That's
okay.
how I did it. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. So, but it said if the ratio of the red to the blue is the same, I notice they gave you that for both John and Jane. Okay, so if they're the same, that means the ratio of Jane's mamas is also 3 to 2, right?
Yeah.
Because it says they're the same. So let's see. Let's bring this. Okay. So the ratio of, let's just put this here, red to blue. And let's just put Jane. The ratio of Jane's red to blue is the same as John's. So that ratio is going to be what? 3 to 2.
2.
So that's 3 colon 2. So what is our next step?
Um,
What's the next step, Latoya?
mm, mm, mm. We're gonna multiply.
Multiply what? How would we set up a ratio and proportion for Jane? We know the ratio 3 to 2. How would we set this up?
3 to equal x over 20.
No, 20 is the total.
Mm,
I want you to tell me the ratio and proportion for Jane's.
what's that? Let me see.
Jane's marbles. What would that look like?
2 to 10.
2 to 10? No, we said 20.
Um, 5 to 4. Like
Well, we
4
know
to
the
5.
ratio. Well, we know the ratio is 3, right? 3 to 2. So let's just put that ratio here. 3 to 2. That's the ratio of the red to the blue. So let's just underline that and put the 2. Okay. And what is that equal to?
20.
20?
Yeah.
No, 20 is the total.
Oh, it's equal to 3 over 2. No,
No, no, no, no, no, no. Okay.
I know the
If,
answer is 6.
if the total is 2, let's just put that here. If the total is 2, we need an unknown here because we don't know how many marbles, how many red or blue Jane has, but we know the total is 20. So if we let X, let me just put over here, let X equal number of red marbles. Then 20 minus X would be the number blue. Then 20 minus X equal number of blue marbles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, we have an unknown here because remember they gave us the total for Jane, but we don't know how many red and how many blue. Okay,
Equal 3 over 2 equal X.
so we said X, and that ratio is for, the ratio we have is for red to blue. So that's going to be what?
3 over
X,
2 equal X.
X over what?
2, 0.
Okay, X divided by, let's just put underline. And what goes underneath?
20
20 what?
X.
No, 20 minus,
X.
yes, that's right, 20 minus X. That's the way our ratio would look. And how would we solve this?
2X.
Cross multiply again, cross multiply. So what do you get when you cross multiply, Latoya?
2X.
2X, very good, equal what?
60 minus X.
3 times 20 is what?
60
60, that's correct.
minus X.
And what's 3 times a minus
Oh,
X?
sorry,
Remember?
minus 3X. Sorry.
Minus 3X, that's right. You can't throw these things away. You got to multiply that 3 by this whole expression, 20 minus X. So what would be the next step?
So you're gonna divide
No, you gotta get all your X's together.
yeah, you gotta divide.
So how would you do that? Not divide now. Remember,
No,
you are
sorry.
subtracting, so the opposite is addition. So what would you do?
2X minus 3X.
No, that's a
Oh
minus.
no, plus.
So that's right. You gotta add
Plus.
3X to both sides of the equation. So if I, let me just put that there and then add it. Okay. So we're gonna put this here, and this is a 2. Oh, okay. So add 2X to both sides of the equation. So that's, I'm sorry, add 3X to both sides of the
Yes.
equation. So that's plus 3X. And over here, that's a plus 3X. So what do we get on the left side, Latoya?
5X
That's
equal
it.
60.
5X equals 60. So what is X is?
12.
Okay, so X equal 60 divided by 5 equal 12. So that represents what? What did we say X was?
James red.
Number of red
Yes.
marbles. We said X is the number of red marbles. So that would be red marbles. So what would be the number of blue?
8.
That's it. Very good. So number of blue marbles is equal to 20 minus 12, right? And that's equal
Equal
to
to 8.
8. So how many marbles did John have? How many blue marbles did he have?
John had Let me see.
Go back up here. 12
30.
of which was
John have 30.
blue.
Blue.
12
Oh,
of which was blue.
yeah, John have blue.
So you go back to where we at the beginning. John has 12 blue marbles, right? And Jane has 8. So John has how many more than Jane? How many more?
Yes, I'm
Latoya,
Mr.
can you see that?
No, call it coming.
Okay.
Yes.
Huh?
It said John has 12 blue marbles, right?
Right. So
And what
number of
is
blue marbles is 8. That's Jane. This is Jane's marbles we're talking about here. So John has how many more blue marbles than Jane?
4
Okay, so John, so we take the difference then. 12
minus
minus
8
8
equal
equal
4.
4. So
John has
John
has
has
4 more marbles than
4,
Jane.
well, 4 more blue.
Blue more than Jane.
4 more blue
Marbles than Jane.
marbles than Jane. And what answer is that?
The answer was A12.
Okay. So what's the answer?
The answer is A12.
No.
Oh, sorry,
John has
4D.
how many more blue marbles than Jane, right? Answer is D.
D4. No, my mind slip a little bit. That's why. I know
Righty.
it's 4, but then I was like, why
Yeah, you
say
say
12?
12. Where are you getting the 12 from? Yeah, because you got to answer that question. It says, John has how many more blue marbles than Jane? That's the question you want to answer. So you've got to know John's blue marbles, number of blue marbles, Jane number of blue marbles, and get the difference, which is what we did. 12 for John, 8 for Jane, difference subtracted, difference is 4. So John has 4 more blue marbles than Jane. Now notice they gave you the 20 marbles for Jane, but they didn't tell you which ones was red or blue. So your proportion had to have the 20, but you had to put an unknown there because you don't know how many red and blue marbles Jane has. So we had to put a variable for the number of red marbles.
Yeah.
Then we could say the difference between that unknown variable that we call X and 20 would be the number of blue marbles. So in your ratio proportion, you had to put that 20 minus X because you don't know.
It's like an algebra problem because you have
Yes,
to find the
yes,
unknown.
that's right. You had to
It's where
find
they're
your unknown.
tricky because you gotta do the only half of
Yeah,
the
well,
first part and then
that's
since
it. They
it's
gave
12,
you some answers that were part of the steps that you go through, but it wasn't, the 12 was the number of red marbles, but they
I
didn't
thought it
ask you
was
that.
6.
They didn't ask you that. They said, John has how many more blue marbles than Jane? All right.
I feel punch out, Miss Baba.
Okay.
Hold on.
All right. I'll wait for you to come back.
Okay. Yeah, Miss Barbara, I'm back.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Let's look at number 26.
So
After taking 3 quizzes, your average is 72 out of 100. What must your average be on the 5 quizzes to increase your average to 77?
Ooh. Uh-oh.
How do you think you would solve that, Latoya?
This one, let's, 3m plus,
Okay. Okay. How would you set up the
let's,
equation to solve it? Okay. So you're going to let, we'll just say n equal average.
uh,
To
n equal average
to increase to 77. So n is going to be the average you need to get to increase
yeah, to 77.
Okay, average
To 77
of 5
of 5
quizzes to
to
77.
77.
So how would the equation look? What would you write?
Let
So n is what we're looking for. We want to find what must be the average on 5 quizzes to increase our overall average to 77. Okay. So if you have 3 quizzes and your average is 72 out of 100, what's that total?
72 to 100. Yeah,
3 quizzes, your average is 72. That total is going to be 3 times 72, because the number of quizzes times the average is going to be the total of your scores
so it's
of your
gonna be
quizzes for when it's 72. Okay.
216
That's right. It's going to be 3. Let's just put it as the equation times
equal
72.
to
And
equal
what?
216.
Yeah, let's just put it all together. 3 times 72. And what do we want to add to this? Okay, let's just put that in parentheses. 3 times 72. And what do we want to add that to?
Plus 5.
Okay. All right. Plus what?
Parentheses 5
Okay. Times what?
times 77.
No, times n. Because
N,
we're
yeah.
looking for
Times
what it
N, yeah.
has to be. Okay. And what is that? What would that be divided by? How many scores are we looking at here? Actually 8, right? You have 3
Yeah.
here and 5 here. So this is going to be, let's see. So that's going to be 8. Sorry, that's going to be 8. Let's take out the underline. And what is this equal to? The average we're trying to get is what? 77.
Yeah. Hello. I'm okay.
Okay, let's just put this here. Take that underline out. So that's the way our equation will look. 3 times 72, that would be your total for that average, right? 3 times 72 plus 5 times n over 8, because we're looking at 3 quizzes here and 5 here. That gives us a total of 8. and we're trying to get 77.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's solve. Latoya, turn off your, go to mute.
I'm on.
Okay, okay. So let's just copy this.
Let me go back inside.
Okay. All right. So Latoya, tell me how to solve this equation. Because if you solve this, you'll get the answer. Okay, so what are you going to do first?
You're gonna do parentheses.
Okay, so what do I get?
It's gonna be 216.
Yeah, 3 times 72 is 216.
216.
And what's 5 times n?
5n.
That's right, 5n.
I can't even see where you're writing it. Always lost.
You don't see it?
Yeah, I see it now. I'm
Okay,
always going the right way.
all right. And this is going to be
Over
divided
8.
by 8. All right. Let's just take out the underline. Okay. And that's all equal to what? Equals 77.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's just bring that a little closer. Okay. Actually just bring it up. Okay, there we go. Now, what do we do next? What's the next step? Multiplication. I get you started. Multiply what?
Both sides by 5n.
No. 5n is an add, so it can't be a multiplication. Multiplication's got to be where you're dividing. You divide by 8, so you're going to multiply both sides by 8. Right? Both sides of the equation by 8. Now, what would that give you?
8 times 16. Let me see, it was 40 in
Well, 8
2.
times
Yeah,
8, 1 over 8 is,
1028.
okay, so what do you get on the left side?
1028.
No, left side.
Oh,
If I multiply left side by 8, the 8 over 8 is just going to give me 1. So I'll have 216 plus 5n. And what's 8? Okay, 8 times 77. What is that equal to?
let me see, 8 times
8 times
56.
77. Use my calculator here.
56.
8 times 7, 7.
63. 6.
What do you get?
676. 676.
8 times 77.
8,
I get
77.
616.
6.
You don't get 616? 8 times 77.
7,
616.
8 is 56. 7, 8, 56. And 7, 6, 16. Yeah.
616, right?
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
616.
You got that? Okay, Chas, you get 616, right?
Yeah.
So what you have is what?
1028. No. You
No,
gotta get.
let me copy that over so then you'll see. Okay, you have, and that's equal to, I'll just put the 616. So what do you do next?
You gotta get rid of the 5.
No,
You add those 5, no?
no. Remember you're trying to find n, so that 216 has got to be combined over here. So what do I do to combine that 216 to 616? What
Add those 2
operation?
numbers.
Nope, can't add them.
Minus.
Minus, you got to subtract the 216 from both sides. Subtract 216 from both sides of the equation. Okay.
400.
All right. So let's just do what we just said we will do. Okay. So we subtract 216 the left side. Keep an equation in balance. You have to do the same to both sides. Subtract here, minus 216. And what do you have left, Chastity?
400.
On the left side, what do you have left? You're right. You have 400 on the right. What do you have on the left side?
216. Hold on.
216, a plus 216, a minus 216. Remember, I told you the same values go to zero, right? So what do I have left on the left side? Chastity, what's left on the left side?
216.
No, a plus 216 and a minus 216 gives me zero. So I'm
Oh, yeah.
just left with 5n on the left side, right?
Yes. 5N.
Sometimes we just say cancel, but what you do is you add the plus and minus of the same value, and that's always zero, whether it's a constant or whether it's a variable, or whether it's a variable and a constant combined. It goes to zero. So I have 5n on the left, and you told me already what goes on the right, and that's 400, right?
Yeah.
So now you know what n is. What is n?
100.
No.
Oh,
N, what are you going to divide by? You divide both sides by 5, right? So that's going to be 400 divided by 5. And what's 400 divided by 5?
80.
80. That's your answer. Okay. And that was one of your choices. So what is 80? What choice? A, B, C, or D?
C.
That's right. Answer C. Okay. So you had to set up the equation to get the 77 average. That was what they gave you initially. They said the 72, let's go back up here to 72 out of 100. That means 3 times 72 is the total to get the 72, because it has to be a number divided by 3 to get 72. That's why we said 3 times 72. And then for the 5 quizzes, they increase the average to 77. That's 5 times some value that's going to make this average 77. But since we're dealing with 3 quizzes here and 5 here, the total is going to be 8. So we got the 8. Okay. Then we just simplify this equation, multiply both sides by 8. So on the left side, 8 divided by 8 is 1. So we just left with 216 plus 5n. 8 times 77 is 616. Now we want to get the n by itself with the 5. Subtract the 216 from both sides and we get 400. 5n is 400. Divide both sides by 5. N is 400 over 5 is 80. And that's our answer. Any questions on that problem? That's 26. Any questions on 26?
No. The one that with let n and stuff is like complex.
Yeah,
I gotta work on them because I have
yeah,
to know if you put the
that's
unknown and stuff is what making me get a
but
problem.
that, see, the thing is, you were given a 3, see 3 quizzes right here, average 72. Okay. So now you know that total 3 times 72. But it says, what must your average be on the 5 quizzes to increase your average to 77? See, we don't know what that average is. We know that it's 5 number of quizzes times some number n, but we don't know what the n is. Okay. That's the unknown. average to increase the average of the 5 quizzes, 77. That's why we had to put the unknown here. And there are 3 quizzes here, 5 here. That's why you have the 8. And we're trying to increase our average to 77. That's why we have equals 77. Yeah, that requires a little practice, Latoya. This is not a simple problem, right? So, but you had to set it up correctly in order to solve it. And this is your setup right here. Sometimes problems like this, they don't ask you to answer, they ask you to set up. But the thing is, you have to understand what is an unknown in order to do the setup, right? Okay, so that was 26. 27. Okay, let's just put this over here so we'll have some room to work with 27. Now, what do you know about speed and distance? What's the speed problem? What's the speed formula? Distance, rate, time. What is, Chastity, do you know the formula for finding distance if you know the rate and the time?
The formula? No.
Latoya, you know the formula?
D over R.
No. Distance, rate, time. What's the formula? Give me the distance formula. What is distance equal to?
R over T.
No.
D times I get that
Distance
one mixed
equal
up.
rate times
Times
time.
I
Well,
say R over T.
I know you said ROT, but remember distance is like in meters or miles or feet or whatever. So rate is what? Like if rate, let's do like this. If rate equal, I'll just give you a rate. If rate equal 60 miles per hour, all right? And time equal, let me give you a time. Time equal 3 hours. Okay, so how far did I go if my rate was 60 miles an hour and my time is 3 hours? How far did I travel? Jesse, how far did I travel? If my rate was 60 miles per hour and I traveled 3 hours, how far did I travel? That's my distance. What is that value?
Do you add 50 plus 60?
No. What did I say distance was? Let me just put here. D equal, that's distance, R times T, that's rate. So my distance, what is my rate? Right here.
Per hour.
60?
60 miles per hour. So that's 60, and I'll just put miles per hour. All right. Times my time, which is what? 3 hours. And what's that equal to?
180.
That's it. And what's the units? Miles, right? So your distance is a multiplication formula. That's why I put this example for you, because when you multiply rate times time, you get distance. Miles per hour times hours give you miles.
That's the formula?
That's the formula for distance. Distance equal rate times the time. So if John drove 3 hours at a rate of 50 miles per hour, what distance did he travel? What distance did John travel, Chastity?
180 miles.
3 hours at a rate of 50 miles per hour. What was his distance? 3 hours, 50
60
miles.
miles.
What is it?
50.
No, 3 hours, 50 miles per hour. I'm taking this right here. What was his distance traveled?
150.
What is it, Latoya?
150.
150. Yeah, so John's distance, let's just put it here. John, okay, so John's distance, and that's the same formula I just used, D equals R times T. So what you put, Chastity, is 50 miles per hour. That's the rate, 50 miles an hour. So I put 50, and that's miles per 1 hour times what? 3 hours. And that would be the distance of what? 150
50.
miles. Okay, that's John's distance. Then he drove another 2 hours at 6 miles per hour. So we've got to put the distance in again for that, right? So what would that be equal to?
T equals RX
It's equal
R
rate
times that.
times T. And that would be equal to what? What was its other? It was 60 miles per hour, right?
60.
Yes,
Yes,
60
60
miles per
hours.
hour. And how 40
2 hours.
for 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's time 2 hours. And what is that equal to? What is that distance? What's 60 times 2?
120.
120. So that's miles. All right. So we know his distance when he was traveling at 50 miles per hour for 3 hours. We know his distance when he traveled 60 miles per hour for 2 hours. That's the distance is 120. Now we want to find the average speed. So how would we find the average speed, Latoya?
We add those two.
And do what? Yeah, you're on the right track. We'd add those two and what will we do with them? Rate is what? Distance divided by time. See, if D is R times T, let me just write this here. If D equals rate times the time, then what is rate equal to? Rate is the speed, right? So rate equals what, Latoya? What is rate equal to? Chastity, what is rate equal to?
Mm,
What
my
would you
computer
do?
turn on.
No, you'd have to do what? Divide both sides by T. So rate is going to be distance.
Hold on, give me 1 second. My computer is about to turn off.
Okay. Distance divided by T. So if distance is rate times the time, then rate is distance divided by time. So what's the total distance?
Were we supposed to add the 150, 120 and then subtract
That's right. Well,
180, right?
well, no, you're not going to subtract 180. Remember, we're trying to find the rate, Chastity. So we're trying to find this. Okay. So you're right. You've got to add the two distances.
Yeah,
That's really good. Okay. So this is going to be, okay, let me bring this over. So your total distance, let's just put this here, equal.
70.
Okay. Get rid of the underline here. Went too far. Okay, so that's going to be the total distance. I'll just write it in words here. Total distance divided by total time. Total distance divided by total time. So the total distance is going to be that 150 plus the 220. So that's equal to 150 plus 120. And what's the total time?
70.
Oh, that's equal to, but what's the total time? What's the-
5 hours, right?
Yes, that's right. 3 hours plus 2. So that's going to be 3 plus 2. Okay, now that will be equal to, let's just, so that's equal to 270
over 5,
over 5. And what is that equal to?
270, 54.
Okay, 270 over 5. And what did you get, Latoya?
54 miles
50.
per hour.
That's right. So that would be equal 54 mph. That's our rate. Miles per hour. And what answer is that?
It's B as in boy.
Okay. So let me.
I didn't have that part, Miss Barbara.
You didn't have one?
You didn't send me that part.
What, 27?
Yeah, if I'm 21 where we did till 30, you didn't send that other part.
I didn't send 27 through 30.
Not 27 to 30 from where we start, 21 or 20.
That's the one I don't have.
Yeah, we didn't get it, Miss Barbara, because I came home already.
Oh, you
and
didn't
I was
get,
looking for it and I was
no,
like,
you didn't get, I didn't send you the rest of the number 3,
What is it,
algebra
4?
3.
no, we
I'm
didn't get it.
sorry, I
I've been looking for
apologize.
it.
I apologize.
Because I came home and I was looking for it. I was like, oops, it's up at 18. Where's the rest? It's not on here because I staple everything on.
Oh, okay.
So no,
I'm sorry. I really meant to send you the rest of it.
But
23
I
through
get the whole of
30.
4 is 20, right? 4
Yeah.
is, how much is 4? College 4?
4 is, let me see. I think I have it here. 4 has, let's see.
College 4.
4
I think it's
has,
40.
Well,
My
I
God,
didn't
the
get
40.
40.
4 has 20.
Yeah, I
No.
got 20.
4 has 20 problems.
Let's
Oh,
say
that one is right.
college algebra number 4, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I
Is it
have
40 come?
21, 23, 24, 25, 25.
I got
25
20.
questions.
Well, wait just a minute. Wait
Yeah,
a minute.
25. You're
It
right,
has 25.
Chastity.
You're right, Chastity.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
at
got
my sheet.
25.
College algebra 4 has 25 problems,
Okay,
right?
I have that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one
And
is correct.
college algebra 3 had 30 problems. And
Oh,
I thought I
Three
sent
thirty.
you from 23 to 30. You said you didn't get it, right?
no, we didn't get from 18. 18 was the last one.
Oh, okay.
20 was the last
So I
one.
have to send you, you said
And
you got
college 3 is what?
30.
Occupational math, algebra, and functions.
Yeah,
College
it doesn't
algebra
say
3.
3. I think one of them, because I started using 3 and 4 after 3. But I think 2 had Accuplacer.
Mm.
Okay, so you didn't get from, you got up to 18, you said, Latoya?
I got up to 14. That's all I have.
Okay, so why don't
No,
I just,
15.
okay,
15 and a half. That was my
I'll
last.
just send college algebra 3 again, the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
because
you said college
actually,
2 is
yeah,
occupational.
okay, so I'll send you college algebra 3. Okay, so that goes to Latoya, Chastity, and also Audrey.
Occupational.
Okay, so you didn't have this. All right, so you were kind of at a disadvantage there. Sorry about that. I thought I had sent them all because I was trying to send you what we will be working on, not the ones we had done already, but I'll just send you the whole thing because then they will have all the answers up to where we are now, which is, well, we should finish this up. That was 27. Any questions on 27, distance, rate, time problem?
No.
So
No.
you find you find your distance for both segments of John's travel, 3 hours at 50 miles an hour and 2 at 60. And then you add them together, like Chastity said, you add the distance and you add the time. And then when you divide distance by time, you get rate. And that's the 54 miles per hour.
Okay, wait a minute. I just found algebra 3
Did you find
with my
3?
dog. Yeah, 14 questions you said, right?
15, it's that Chastity for 3. That was what
Three
You said
has
15?
30. 3 has 30 questions, but I think we had gotten to
Oh, so I
22.
got
We
until yeah, I only has 15 on algebra 3.
Okay, so I'll just send you the whole thing. Okay, for 3. And 4, you have everything, right?
Yeah,
25 questions?
yeah.
Okay, so you have all of 4. So I have to send you 3. But the 3 I will be sending you will be the ones with the answers worked out like we're doing now. Okay.
Okay.
I think I have this as I have it as 23 to 30, but I'll put them all together and send you the whole thing, all from 1 through 30 with the answers worked out.
Yeah, I need
Okay.
to go over them.
Okay. So I'll send you that. All right. Now I know you can solve 28.
Let me see. Can never find it. It's going there now.
Okay. 28 is okay. That's the interest problem. What's the formula for interest?
PRT.
What's equal to PRT?
Principal time rate.
Right. Interest equal PRT.
At least I remember that formula because I
That's
study
right.
God.
Interest equal
Rate and time.
principal. That's the P. Principal. That principal, not the PLE. Principal
Rate time.
times rate
Rate time.
times
Time.
time. Okay. So what are we looking for here? What is this problem asking us to find?
I'm sorry. I don't have college algebra 1.
Okay.
Miss
That well,
1.
that one
1
was probably
is
Accuplacer, I think.
it doesn't say
You don't have the one,
college
Justin?
algebra number 1. No.
No, I think it wasn't called number one. I think it was AccuPlacer. But anyway, you don't have
Yeah.
that, you said, right?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, so I'll send you number one.
Okay.
Okay, so what are we looking for in number 28?
We're looking for how much he invests
Investment.
for 1 year at 8%.
So are we looking for interest, principal, rate, of the time?
So it's gonna be
What are we looking for?
3,000. We're looking for how much he gonna make in 1 year. How much interest he gonna earn in 1 year.
No. What does this
How much
say?
rate?
No, what does that say? That's
How
what we're
much
looking for.
must he invest for 1 year?
So how much he must be, how much must he invest for 1 year is really principal.
I was gonna say that, but I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
no, you're right. You're right, Jazz. It's principal because the interest income is the I. That's what he would like to make, right? He
Yeah.
would like to make 3,000 in a year at 8% rate. So how much he invests is really the principal. So if you substitute here the interest, that's going to be 3,000. That's how much he would like to make as income, right?
Yeah.
Equal. The principal is P. That's what we're looking for. What is the rate, Latoya?
8%.
As a decimal, it would be what?
0.08.
0.08. Very good. Okay, what's the
Times
time?
12. Times 12.
Nope. What would it be, Chastity? It's not 12. The time is in years. So what would that be? What would it be, Chastity?
Year. How much must he invest for 1 year?
3,000 a year. That's just 1 year. So that would just be one.
5 years?
No. How much
Oh,
must he
1 year.
invest
Oh,
for
yeah.
1 year?
Okay.
The
I put it
time
at
is
12
in year.
months.
No,
I
it's
got
not
it.
months. If months, you got to convert it to years. The time,
Oh,
simple interest, the time is in years. Got it? So we're looking for the principal. How much must be invested to make 3,000? That's the interest at a rate of 8% for 1 year. So what's my next step? We want to solve for principal. So what do I do next?
subtract. No, divide.
Divide by what? Well, you're going to multiply first, right? 3,000 equal, and that would just be 0.08 P, and time one is just P, right? So now what do I do? Here's where I divide, right? What do I divide by? Divide both sides by what?
By 0.18.
0.08. Divide both
0.
sides
Yeah.
by 0.08. So do that. Tell me what you get.
I get some weird numbers on this calculator.
No, you shouldn't get any weird numbers. You're dividing both sides by 0.08. So let's just put 0.08.
Yeah, I got it. 375,000.
Divide this by 0.08. Okay, let's do this. So that's 0.08 and divide this by 0.08. Take out this underline. Okay, now when you divide that out, you're going to just get P on the left side. And when you divide the 3,000, let's do it on the calculator.
It's gonna be 37,500.
Divide by 0.0. What did you get, Latoya?
37,500. The answer is C.
Yes, 37,500. And that would be equal to P, the principal. That's how much you would have to invest to make 3,000. All right.
Ooh, that's a lot of money.
Yes, that's a lot of money to make 3,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
Because the interest 8%. But if the interest was higher, then you wouldn't need as much. Okay. All right. So answer, what answer is that?
It's C, as in
Answer
candy.
C. Okay. Any questions on simple interest?
How do you get 37,500?
I'm sorry.
How do you get the 37,500?
If you divide 3,000, you want to do it the long way?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's
So
the
let
short way?
the calculator. Okay. Here's
And I
the
have problem with my eyes. And
okay. All right.
every
Let's
time I wear my glasses, I get worse. I'd rather
okay.
not, but then I
Okay.
see everything blurry.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay. 3,000. Okay. We're gonna do it the long way. All right.
I
Divided
don't like
by,
decimals.
yeah, well, you try to
I
eliminate
don't
the
like decimals. I don't like fractions. I just like money.
yeah, it's easier.
Everybody like money.
Well, just think of everything you're doing as money then. Okay, Chastity, now when you're dividing by the decimal, right? You're gonna move the
Move
decimal
to
2 places, just make that an 8. But you're gonna have to do the same thing in the dividend, what is in the house, right? So you're gonna move the decimal point here 2 places. All
and
right.
that's a happy face.
Okay. Now 8 and the 30 goes how many times?
6. No.
No, 8 and the 30, 3 times.
Oh yeah,
Three
24.
three times 8 is 24, right? Okay. And this will give you 6.
And
Bring
then
down a
0.
0. 8 and the 60 goes how many times?
Mm,
7.
yeah.
7 times 8 is 56. Okay, so we put 56, subtract. That's a 4. And bring down a 0. And 8 into 40 goes how many times? Chastity.
hmm 6.
No. What number times 8 give 40?
Oh, 5.
That's right, 5. Think of your timetables. 5 times 8 is 40. And we all done. And then we put our zeros here. So 3750 and then the 2 zeros. So
Thank you, Miss
our
Juan.
number is 37,500. You got it?
Yes, thank you.
Haven't seen long division in a long time.
No, but sometimes you have to do it. I had to do it in my class 1 to 3. This somebody had asked me. They say they couldn't figure it out, and I just did it on the whiteboard, the long division. Okay, but remember when you do this now, you're getting rid of your decimal. You're shifting it over, but then you got to shift it the same number of places in your divisor as your dividend. So it's 2 places. My decimal point is here, and I moved it 2 places, and that means it's right here. Okay, it's here, and I put it the same place in what we call our quotient, which is here. Okay. All right. Let's go back to our sheet.
We staying on to 7?
No, we're finishing up at 6:30. I wanted to finish up these problems, so if we could.
How many we got left?
We only
2.
have 2 left, and I think you can probably solve. Let's see if you can solve this one. 29.
I've been watching your videos on YouTube. Anyway.
Okay, good.
I
This
like
will,
them.
yeah, this is good. I'm recording this, so I'll be putting this on the YouTube. Okay, and then I'll be sending you also the copy of with the answers and explanations. Okay, one half of the cards had been sold. There were 172 left. How many cards were printed? I know you know that answer. You don't even have to really think about it that much.
86.
Latoya, I'm surprised you said that. I'm
Because I
surprised.
Why?
divide by 2.
What you said?
I said 86 because I just say half.
Half of the cards had been sold. There were
Oh yeah.
172 left. How many cards were printed?
Yeah. 86 times 2 is 172.
344.
No.
Miss Barbara.
You said 344?
Yeah.
Sold, and there were 172 cards left.
That is the answer.
Left.
Yeah, no.
344.
Oh no, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yes, one
I
one
divide,
half
but then I read
sold,
it again.
172 left. So if half was sold and 170, then I had 2 times 172 to start with, right? 2 times 172,
72.
which is equal to 344. Half was sold, 172 left. So
Yeah, whatever
half
was
of
left.
what number is 172? Half
Who
of
may
what
catch
number
us in
is
the
172? It has to be 344, right?
Yes.
You follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And says B as in boy.
Yeah, answer B, because if 172 left and that represents half the number, then the number has to be 2 times 172, or 344. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the last one, number 30. Now, this one, you've got 2 people doing something. One takes a certain amount of time, the other one takes. Now, how did we say we did that? You remember?
Let Maria.
Wait.
No, we
Didn't you finish doing something like that similar to?
yeah, we've done
Oh,
one like this where you take the fraction 1/10 plus 1/12 and it's equal to 1
it's a
over
ratio
t.
proportion problem.
Well, it's not exactly. Okay. 1 over 10. Okay, this is the way you would solve it. Okay. So 1 over 10 plus, okay, plus 1 over 12. This is where you solve your work problems. And we normally just deal with two people working. Okay. Okay. 1 over 12. And this is equal to, let's get down the line now. And this is equal to the time it takes them working together. So this will be equal to 1 over t. And you solve for t. So how do you solve for t? T is the time it takes them working together.
You gotta find the LCD.
That's it. You got to find the least common denominator. So for 10 and 12, what is that?
2.
Hmm? What number can you divide 10 in and divide 12 into? Same.
120.
Well, that's one, but what's one smaller?
One.
120 would work. I'm telling you, that would work. But I want you to get a smaller one. 120.
60.
Yeah, that's right. Or 60 equals LCD, least common denominator. Okay, so 1/10 is what over 60? 1/10 is what over 60? To get 60 as the denominator, what do you multiply the numerator and the denominator by?
6.
6, Miss Barbara.
6. So 1/10 is 6 over 60, right? So let me put, this is 60. Okay. Get rid of the, okay. Plus,
5
now,
over 12. No, plus 5 over 60, sorry.
5/60. That's right. 5. Because 5 times 1 is 5 and 5 times 12 is 60. Okay. So this would be 60. Because then you could add them together if you had them over the same denominator, right? You can't add fractions unless your denominators are the same. Okay. So that's equal to
11 over 60.
equal 1/t. Now I just want to put the 1/t here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll go to the next step, Latoya. Okay, so that's okay, so that would be, put the t here. And then I'm just gonna put over here 6 plus 5, that's 11
11.
over 60. Okay, 60. Now let's just get rid of these, this underline, it went too far. Okay, so 11 over 60 is equal to 1/t, right? Equal 1/t. So what's t equal to?
60. No.
11.
Now you could cross multiply, right?
Yeah.
So you'll get 11t. Now I didn't want to go to the next one. Okay, so let me just do this. So you get 11, and I'll just do the slash here. 11 over t equals 60. So what is t equal to?
60. 6,
Now,
sorry.
6.
11 over t is 60. So t is going to be 60 over 11. Now, let's see if this is going to let me not hit. Okay. So t equal 60 over 11. And what is that equal to? Small t.
6.
60 over 11 is not 6, Latoya.
Oh, shucks. I'm thinking it's 66. Sorry.
I thought you were thinking that.
I'm thinking it's 66.
60 divided by 11 equals what?
And I still put 66 in the calculator.
What is that?
5.45. B as in
5.45.
boy.
Yep, that's the answer. Answer B, ANSWERB. Okay. Any questions? When you ever have a work problem, you just put the numbers that they're given, put them as 1 over that amount, add them up. That's equal to 1 over the time it takes with people working together. Get a least common denominator, add the numerators, and then, well, actually, once you get this, the 60 divided by 11 gives you the answer. You don't really have to cross multiply. Once you get the sum of your fractions, just divide the denominator by the numerator, and that's your answer. Okay, so you can shortcut it. You don't have to cross multiply. Once you get the sum, like here, 11 over 60, just divide 60 by 11, and that will give you your answer. Got it?
Okay.
Okay, so very good. You did good today. Now we'll go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I owe you what? I owe Chastity number 1 and number 3, right?
Yes.
And Latoya, I owe you number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will email those to you, and that would be the complete number 3 with the answers that we went over all back from before. I'll put them all together because I think I have them kind of like broken up a bit, but I'll put them together and send them all to you. And then you have number 4. And for number 4, let's see, I want to do a new share. I think I have number 4 out here. Okay. All right. Homework. Okay. Homework. This is number 4. Do number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm still on a break, Miss Bob.
Okay. Well, take a pause and do number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. We'll go over them. So don't beat your head up, but at least I want you to try them. And actually, number 1 is similar to one we just did, but notice it's saying here, you've got 3 people painting, all right? And you've got what 1 takes, and Jane takes, and Paul takes. And then you define what Peter would take to finish the job alone.
oh,
Okay. Now this is 3 people. I want you to try this, but don't break your head over it. We'll go over it because we've just been doing 2. But
I will
try
try
it.
that one.
Try
Yeah.
it. Try it. It's a nice little challenge. All right. And then of course, you know your average. That's like your mean. So, okay. This is something similar we went over too. And for this one, 2,400 people said they approved, 6,000 were polled. What percent was, now notice this said disapprove. So you're going to have to find the number that disapprove is going to be the poll number minus the 2,400. That would be the disapprove number. So don't get tricked here, because they didn't ask you what percent approved. They ask you what percent disapprove. So you're going to have to take the 6,000 minus 2,400 and divide that result by 600. Now these chefs, draw a picture of these chefs. You have 3 chefs, a top, a middle, and a bottom. And you're going to have to let an unknown be one of them. Pick the one you want to be the unknown, and then try to translate the words to the math for the ones that are given. Okay.
Okay.
So homework 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So we're going to stop here.
Okay.
Any questions on anything we went over?
No, I will go over on YouTube.
Okay, so this will, I recorded this, so this will be going on YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
So thank you
So
for
much.
sharing, and you're doing good. Just keep it up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So goodbye. Enjoy the
Bye.
rest of
Have a
your
good night.
evening.
You too.
You
Okay.
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay. All right.